Welcome to Keeping It Real with KC. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my eighth. I have never done this many episodes in one day. Ever. This is the eighth, which is also my favorite number, by the way. Side note. This is my eighth and final episode for today. And this will be a short episode. Let me get the housekeeping stuff out of the way. As you know, KIRWKC.com is the main podcasting platform. You can watch all of the podcasting episodes there. And I have to bring this up. I'm looking down because I'm bringing this information up. That way you know, because I found this interesting. I came across this. Also, KIRWKC Instagram, KIRWKC Twitter, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. The Facebook page is new. Swing by, add a like. You'll be appreciated for it. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like, share, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. That way you know when I upload another YouTube video. If you're watching on Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Okay. Now, this particular episode, world, hold on to your hats and sit down. This is my first sports episode. I don't talk sports. And I know some people are like, well, why in the hell do you have sports in your logo? I'm glad you asked. Because I don't talk sports. So when I finally do talk sports, I learn about stuff as I research. And an article came across my laptop 24 to 48 hours ago that I was like, well, that's interesting. And before I go into this article, which is about the sports franchises, I have to tell you why I'm not a sports person. And it's not for the reason that some may think. The reason I am not a sports person is because they don't impress me. I just heard a ton of heads explode because I checked my analytics and metrics and I know I have a lot of males listening to this show. Let me explain, because I have to go into this. And I plan to cover more sports stuff, by the way. When it comes to sports, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, tennis, all of that stuff, I respect anyone who has the discipline to excel and become one of the best at what they do. Because you don't wake up one day and become a great football player or a great basketball player or a great baseball player or soccer player or tennis player. Just like with Venus and Serena Williams. They didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, well, I'm going to play tennis. And then they're as good as they are now. Their dad took them to the tennis court constantly. Day after day. Serve after serve. Same thing with basketball. Practicing shot after shot after shot. Dribbling, going back and forth. I've watched my brother played high school basketball. A lot of my cousins played basketball too, as well. And I have relatives who play sports. My god brother, professional basketball player. List goes on and on. There's stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people do not see with these people who play sports. And they put in a ridiculous amount of hours doing a ridiculous amount of things when it comes to fitness that makes them, that contributes to them being at the top of their game and staying at the top of their game. I respect that. However, the reason I am not into sports is because no one's life is literally on the line. I like gladiators, literal gladiators. If they were to open up a coliseum somewhere in Los Angeles next week, I'd be the one there cheering in the stands. Because with gladiators, when they go in the arena, they don't know if they're going to come out alive or not. They may lose their head, their guts may be spilled all over the place. There's no telling what they will have to encounter. The only sport I've ever truly liked is the gladiator sport, which will never, okay, let me pause on that. I'm not going to say never, that we'll never get gladiator sports. But the chances of there being a coliseum opened up somewhere more than likely won't happen. And even with UFC, with those fighters train. Same thing with UFC and boxing. Those fighters train and train and train and train. And yes, they will get, broken jaws, busted eye sockets, broken legs, and everything else. But for the most part, if you go into the octagon in the UFC ring, you'll more than likely come out alive. You may not be the same physically or emotionally or mentally, or in some cases spiritually, but you're more than likely going to come out alive and you'll be able to heal your wounds. It's something about gladiators that it intrigues me. To me, that is the sport of sports. And that is the only sport I've ever truly been interested in. And I know the chances of getting that back, because I don't look at it as necessarily a bad thing, even though some gladiators were slaves, or most were slaves. There was still a lot of pride when it comes to that sport going in. And you have to have some big made of steel to step into that ring. Because obviously you could do the alternative, just be like, I'm not going to do it, handle it now. And you know what I mean. But for those who stepped into the arena and they survived, that's just, it always fascinates me. And that sport, it will always be, even though I have not witnessed it. You can only watch movies. You can only read books. You can only do research. Even though I have not witnessed it, it's still, that sport will always leave me in awe. If somebody catches a football or something, like does an amazing interception, I'm not saying that it can't be awe-inspiring. If someone throws a fastball at over 100 miles per hour, that can put you in awe. I believe one particular baseball player, he threw it so fast, in some cases, it broke the bat. That can be awe-inspiring. But those moments of awe-inspiring in regular sports are few and fleeting. When it comes to an actual gladiator, it's a constant state of awe because of the caliber of skill, the caliber of fortitude that is required to do that sport. So that's why I'm not really into quote unquote regular sports, whether it be boxing, UFC, tennis, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, what have you. I respect all of the athletes. I will always respect the time they put in to their craft, because anytime someone takes time and they put it into their craft, they will always have my respect. Sports-wise, I'm just a gladiator person. You can call me warped, you can call me weird, you can call me whatever you want to call me. That's just my thing. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, let me get into this. When I had seen the most valuable sports franchises, to show how much I didn't know about sports, the one franchise that came out number one for most valuable sports franchises, this is my cousin's favorite team. And he always wanted to be on this team. Sadly, he didn't make it, even though he was an amazing football player, but he didn't make it. I thought that usually if you have recent Super Bowl wins, that would make you the most valuable franchise. That is not the case here. The most valuable franchise is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if somebody, before I came across this article, if someone would have walked up to me and said, who do you think is the most valuable sports franchise? I'd be like, Patriots. Nope. Not at all. It's the Dallas Cowboys. The Patriots came in number 2. Dallas Cowboys is worth $5.5 billion. Patriots came in at number 2, $4.1 billion. So the Dallas Cowboys franchise is worth $1 billion more than the Patriots. That's a lot. That lets you know it's real with Dallas Cowboys fans. Let me see. Number 7, Washington football team. $3.4 billion, which I would say something about that, but this is an anything but politics channel. So go to my other channel. I might say something there. I'm looking through here. Arizona Cardinals. I didn't even know Arizona had Cardinals. They came in number 26. Carolina Panthers. Now that's interesting. My stomping ground, the Carolinas. $2.4 billion. They came in number 22. That's really interesting. But yeah, I didn't know. And out of the 50 teams, 27 of the teams were NFL teams. When it comes to most valuable sports franchises, 27 of the teams were NFL. So yeah, that's all I got. I just thought that was interesting. It's the little things that amaze me sometimes. This was more an explanation as to why sports aren't my thing versus what the actual title was. Because the discussion of what's going on in the title, the Dallas Cowboys thing, that was shocking to me. Even though I know Dallas Cowboys fans are rabid fans, I didn't think their franchise would be the most valuable out of all the NFL franchises. I thought it would have been the Patriots. But once again, I don't follow sports like that. I just know a few things here and there. And now you know why I don't follow sports. However, as I said before, I plan to cover sports more in the future. And I have a feeling that some of you probably didn't know the Dallas Cowboys franchise was the most valuable franchise. And especially you Patriots fans. Yes, the Dallas Cowboys is worth more than the Patriots. 5.5 billion, 4.1 billion. That's what the receipts say. I can only read the receipts. Anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. KIRWKC.com for the main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Twitter. KIRWKC on Instagram. Facebook.com/KIRWKC. Swing by, give a like. YouTube, Daily Motion. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again. Be blessed.